be here in like 2 hours.
You're the introducer.
May I have the
So
microphone?
BBC Six is dead. Let's have a round of applause.
Congratulations, benefits on your album release day. It's very exciting. Oh, lost my Sharpie. Obviously, we have Robbie Major, Kingsley Hall of Benefits, James Avery Brown, who produced the record. I'm going to sit down.
James Welsh as well.
With James Welsh, co-produced with James Welsh, who sadly isn't here. But it's kind of amazing that it's only release day today, because I feel like there's already been so much dust kicked up by this record in the press. Like today you're in Rolling Stone, Uncut magazine, The Skinny said, what did they say? An album that's impossible to ignore. Is this like surprising to you? Is this the reaction you'd hoped for? Is it what you expected?
We need like pass the conch. The Skinny review was a surprise.
Yeah.
Because the Skinny hated every single thing I've ever done musically for the last 15 years. So to have them be nice about something that I've done is great. If you really want to Google someone trying to destroy my career, feel free to Google the Skinny review in the Chapman Family Burn Your Town. It wasn't very complimentary, but it's so when we've had like nice things said about us from unexpected sources,
Yeah.
and that's been really interesting and really I don't know. Do you want to say something, Robbie? Not particularly. Yeah. I thought you were looking at me like I want to say something.
Is this going to be a theme?
Yeah.
Why do you think the Skinny changed their... You can hear me, right?
Yeah, but it's, you know.
Oh, you can hear the microphone there.
That's okay.
I feel like I can project. Why did the Skinny change their tune? Did they...
Because it's good. they were nice about our first album as well. They were alright. I think it's a 6 out of 10 or something.
Okay.
They were sort of nice, and then they said that some of it was unjustified. I can't remember what was it.
It was unlistenable.
Yeah, unlistenable.
That's worse.
Unjustified and unlistenable.
Yeah.
But it's all right. No, it's yeah. As I said, we've connected with people that we kind of didn't expect to connect with. Like Uncut magazine, like, you know, you can go to Tesco and buy that, and like David, this young man here, the legendary David Hayhall of the Middlesbrough music scene, and Kobe Newton Tesco. Like, I go in there to do the shop, and it was the first review I saw, so like, you know, and one there physically in a magazine rack is like really cool. So like when I go in, I always just have I always pull it to the front, obviously, and I always like just have a little leaf through and try and leave it on the page that our review's on, because it's a really good review. It's like 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
Well, that was you, was it?
Yeah. I do it in. I think I hope everyone in bands does this, because I know that I've done this like ever since I've released any sort of music. Like in HMV, certainly Middlesbrough HMV, I always move the benefits above Beyonce.
Have you done that today?
I haven't been in today, actually.
You've still got to, I know you have.
I know, yeah. But I'll try. I might nip in next week and just move Cowboy Carter out of the way for constant noise.
I think you were saying to me before we came in here that you were kind of hoping this record would be a bit of a slow... You were saying to me outside you were kind of hoping this record would be a bit of a slow burn, but I feel like that horse is already bolted, you know what I mean? It doesn't look likely to be a slow burn now, so that must be quite a shock to the system. Especially, I think, when you're kind of doing this press junket promoting the album. I always feel like with your music, the message in it is so unambiguous. How hard is it to sit down with journalists and have to explain music which is already self-explanatory?
Do you want to have a go at that, Robbie?
It's very difficult.
Yeah. That's what I thought you'd say.
And that's just sitting down with journalists. What else can we say about that? It's particularly difficult for me because when you ask questions about the music, it's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Thanks. We don't do this on Graham Norton. See this. Yeah, it's difficult, but basically because the songs on the album, like lyrically, are so descriptive,
Yeah.
so already so detailed, that it's kind of like, we've had a couple of them actually, where journalists will try and deep dive into something. I'm like, there's no point. Like,
Yeah.
I've literally told you everything in this, huge essay song thing. Like, why bother trying to get me to go through the minute detail of it when it's blatantly obvious that it's just a thing about freeing Palestine or the government being idiots, or this country being a bit of a joke.
Yeah.
So it's like it's all blatantly obvious. I shouldn't have to spell it out. It's weird that there was a review that this French guy did called Frank for a thing called Sound of Violence, and he was nice again about the previous album. He was really cool. So he thought he had some sort of relationship with me, I suppose. And he got in touch before reviewing the album with like this huge list of questions, asking about specifics of it. And I'm like, I'm not going to answer this because you have to use your own ears
Yeah.
to sort of make sense of it. I'm not going to like guide you through it. It's pointless. And he did in the end. And I got him because it wasn't getting nasty, but he was getting really pushy with like really specific questions about like, what colour underpants was James Adrian Brown wearing when he recorded the synths
Usually black.
on Missiles. Yeah, they're usually black. He's a gothic. But they were really specific and just really boring. Like,
Yeah.
so I effectively told him to go away. But he was still very nice about it, because I was very worried about that. I thought he was going to come back with some sort of classically French riposte,
Yeah, sure.
but he wasn't. He was
Yeah.
sound, and he's a nice guy.
Yeah. Let's talk about the drafting in of James Welsh and James Adrian Brown for the production of this record. Because what were you presented with, when you were drafted in, and how did you? Was it like collaborative? Be as honest as you like.
Oh, no, but
Was
a
it-
lot, because
Yeah.
I think one of the easiest things for me working on it from a production side was that I think you knew what you wanted to do. You had a theme and a concept, and it was quite obvious that you had a game plan for making the record.
What was the game plan? Was there one?
Well, like, they sent over 14, the SoundCloud link, 14 tracks in that were in demo form, and just listening through to them, the first time listening through to them all, like, in one sitting, I was like, holy shit,
Yeah.
like, this is actually amazing, but where do I even begin to start? Because it's so, I'm sure you've heard the record today, it's really fucking varied. It's like eclectic is the word. Oh no, I'm so sorry. Hi, I'm sorry. I said clucking, like a chicken. It's so eclectic, and like it was difficult to know where to start, and I think what I was presented with was just, I guess, an album, really, ultimately. And then obviously me and James, the songs were divvied up by you guys. I got X amount, James got X amount, based on what you wanted, really.
It was based on what I thought you could do.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
Because I figured like James Welsh, the other James, is from like, is this right? I would say he's from a more dance background.
100%.
So James Welsh is on a label called Fantasy Sound, which is run by Errol Alkan. And he's released some, and he writes film scores, and he's done all sorts of cool stuff. He's more dance orientated than you, and you would be more tape loops and electronics and electronica and soundscapes.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. And I think when we dug into the track, you kind of decided where we were going to start with each track. So we were working directly with these two, and Kings would go, right, James, you start on this one. James, number 2, you start on this one. And then because we weren't making the album in the traditional sense of having a recording studio, I've got a studio, James has got a studio, and there was no There was there wasn't like a time limit. You know, like if you traditionally make a record, you book a studio for 2 weeks, and you're a bit like, oh shit, we're running out of time. Twit. And what happened was, I guess there was a deadline, kind of, but you were sort of playing, how can I put it, fat controller with the whole thing. Yeah, like, you okay?
Yeah, just got knackered legs.
I was going to say, do you want the seat?
Well, it's a bit late now.
I'm alright. Sure. And so we crafted the record over a number of, I don't know how long it was actually, how long was it? A couple of months. And there was just loads of back and forth, and you guys knew what you wanted, and we kind of followed your script to a sense, and then we also came back against you sometimes and said, why don't we do this?
Yeah.
And you were like, I'm not sure. And then there were certain things I would do and you'd be like, I don't like that. But then you were really good because you'd be reflective, and then you come back and go, actually, I do like that. So you would take the time to step away from what we were doing and come back and go, okay, yeah, let that slip, but don't do any more of that.
Yeah.
I was very good at having knee-jerk reactions to these recordings that came back to me, and if I thought they were rubbish, I'd go back to him straight away, like half listen through and tell them that they were rubbish. And then like half an hour later, after listening to it properly, I'd be in full agreement with them that it was good.
Yeah, yeah.
But like, yeah, so James, I said, for me, was more soundscape and, you know, atmospheric based, whereas James Welsh was more beat-driven.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that you did Divide, which is the most beat-driven one, which was a bit of the most nightmarish song in the world to make, but it's fine. But it's So yeah, as I said, James kind of got the more introspective, softer songs. We had lots of back and forths. I mean, we went on holiday to Ibiza last year, and gone for like a little jog every morning. I listen to these things like all the time, like literally every day. I go for a jog and I have it on. I don't listen to anything else, like from demo form to the completed form. It'll drive you mad.
Yeah.
But jogging around in Ibiza, it was the sun.
Yeah.
I don't know, something sort of got to me, and we had this song, the Victory Lap, and it was it didn't really have enough going for it. It was just like plodding along. But James made it. I texted him at like 8 in the morning, going, can you make it a bit more Balearic? And he was like, yeah, no problem. So he just, so it was cool.
So the game plan kind of changed and adapted as you went?
Yeah, in a way.
Yeah.
I remember when you went to Ibiza, because I remember I'm obviously good friends with James Welsh, and I remember when you went to Ibiza because me and James Welsh were talking. He lives close by to where I live in the Dales, and we were like, oh God, Kingsley's going to be back from Ibiza soon. I'm like, oh no, he's going to come back and go, redo it all.
That's very nice, thank you.
That's the reign of terror.
I don't know if you know, James, I don't know if anyone knows James Adrian Brown. Obviously, James Welsh used to be in hardcore bands as a punk. He wasn't always just this DJ guy. He did proper music, like what we Robbie used to do as well, with guitars and proper drums and things like that. Like, we're not total fannies, total electro fannies these days. But James Adrian Brown was in the band Pulled Apart by Horses. So he was like a very noisy guitar man. And I remember, it's weird, like saying like how we got together, because you and James Welsh came to watch us at Middlesbrough Town Hall in 2023, and you and Robbie got really drunk and fell into a skip. But
You didn't fall, you jumped.
You jumped. But I remember James Brown from when I was in my old band, the Chapman Family. We used to play the same haunts, and you went on to massive success with that. But like signed to major labels and all that sort of rock star stuff. But I remember when we played at Leeds and Reading Festival, and you were on the same stage as us, kind of just after us, I think. It was really cool. That was like 2010, 2009. It was cool. They're a brilliant band.
think that's what so I got onto benefits. My friends are in a band called I Like Trains, and they were talking about benefits constantly, and I was like, you know, when something appears on your feed all the time, you're like, that's annoying. And then one day I was like, well, it's always there, I'll have a look, and I listened, and I was like, oh. And I think from my Pulled Up By Horses days, I could see something in benefits when I was seeing all these videos of live that just drew me in. I was like, oh, these guys mean this, they want to do it and they want to perform and they've got a live. So I think it was a live thing that pulled me in initially. I was like, it reminded me of when we go out and like, we're going to play. Like, we're not just going to go and earn a bit of money and try and get famous. We want to perform or, you know, we're true to what we do, and I could see that.
So we pulled you in as a rock band?
Yeah, and you're quite physically attractive as well. That pulled me in.
You ended up doing an electro album.
What's that? And we ended up doing an electro album.
Drew in as
Life. The ups and downs. But that's what drew me in for, you know, around the Nails time and stuff, and seeing you performing live, like, and that was way before we got involved, and that's why I asked if I could do remix, because I was like, oh, can I come do remix for you?
I got a couple more questions because I'm just conscious of. Thank you very much. Just a couple more questions because I'm just conscious of time. I do want to ask about that sort of transferring from the guitar-based stuff to the electronic-based stuff. I know you've probably already answered that question a million times, but I'm curious about how it transfers to. You know, how you sort of thought out the live setup. But I wanted to ask as well about the song Divide. You know, I don't want to get granularly into, as discussed, I don't want to ask you in detail about specific songs, but we were listening to the album driving down here, and James said that you had mentioned you wanted to be like an electronic Bohemian Rhapsody. Because it is an epic, you know, it builds in this really subtle way, and it, you know, it's very powerful, and it's got the sort of same like operatic hysteria going on. Do you feel like you achieved what you set out to do with that particular track?
Well, I'm sure everyone is ecstatic that there's a Queen with it.
I did say to James, can I mention
It's all right. No, it's Shaq here as well, as he wandered up. Because Shaq, it was a strange song. It took ages to get right. We used to play it. It was when we first got together in 2019. We did it as a guitar song, and it was like literally 2 minutes long. It was like a hardcore song, and then pandemic hits, so we can't do what we're doing anymore. So we converted it. Hugh's here as well. Hugh came up with this. Robbie's brother. Hugh came up with this beat, really simple beat. We went to a practice room and we decided that we didn't want to do proper rock music anymore. And we'd had a gig and it was just rubbish, it was just like terrible. And we just left everything in the car. But Hugh must have dragged his synth in or something. And he started doing this beat and it fit to everything that we were doing. So that was like the embryonic part of it.
Yeah.
And then it just morphed. And then we added something at the end that we wanted to be like a kind of a clubby thing. And then the operatic section, and then the guitar solo, and then the multi-layered vocals, all of it. The piano outro.
It's an epic.
Thanks.
Just before I let you go get ready then, can we talk about because obviously there's the tour coming up towards the end of April, you've got some in-stores now. I wonder how it is negotiating the live setup as a two-piece now, and also, you know, with the different sound.
It's just cheaper. So instead of having like 3 hotel rooms or 2 hotel rooms, we have 1 hotel room. Usually.
2 singles.
Yeah, it's like, in case anyone's wondering.
Yeah, it's 2 single beds. Yeah.
1 towel.
But yeah, so honestly, financially is one of the reasons to go for it. I think it's really difficult. We've toured quite a bit for the last 3 years, and you see bands like with 6 or 7 people in them, and they're not necessarily, you know, similar level to ourselves. Like, you know, no disrespect, C-list, BBC Six, hopefully someday, you know. But they have 6 or 7 people, and they're touring around. They've got 2 drummers, and they've got like this, and they've got that. They've got violins, and they've got a van, and they've got a sound guy, and they've got a merch person. and I don't know how they do it.
Yeah.
So they've either been given a load of money by a major label to just go like, go on, make yourself famous or something,
Yeah.
or they've got like a wealthy backer.
Yeah.
We haven't got that, right? So we cut all our, we haven't got funding, we've never had Arts Council funding, we've never had Tees Valley funding. That sounded a bit spiteful.
We'd quite like some.
We'd quite like some. But the, so we try and cut as many costs as possible.
Yeah.
This is kind of also relating to the thing with the gigs that we're doing, trying to reduce costs on that, reducing the entry fee, reducing the, making sure people get home on time. It's just about trying to be decent and trying to do the right thing. That's all it is. Because you're going to see more bands, sorry about this, you're going to see more bands that are kind of like us in the setup, in the way that they're not going to always have a drummer, they're not going to always have like a string section playing in Cuba. You know, it's like, it's just unaffordable. And the music industry is absolutely crashing right now. So you've got to try and find ways of making it work. And the way that we make it work is to kind of go along as we are. Wasn't an intention thing. You know, we have had drummers obviously, and we still have, you know, decent relationships with all of them. But it's just like the thing that we were creating, even when we were playing like Arctangent Festival or Roadburn Festival in the Netherlands, these metal festivals, we were behind the scenes, we were creating electronic music. So it seems stupid to release electronic music and continue to have like a standard rock band set.
Yeah. One more question then. What is coming next? Are you at the moment booking festivals and stuff? Are you going to take it like to Europe or America, or what's the plan? Speaking of spending money.
I'm not sure that America would let us in.
Okay.
Because, I saw an article about French scientists the other day, and they were denied entry because of some tweets that they'd written about Trump,
Really?
which is mental. But now we've got Deer Shed was announced today, which is great. So I can take Hattie to Deer Shed, which is great. And I don't know if you've ever been to Deer Shed. They have this thing called Feral Farm, which is horrific, but the kids love it, and it's just like a load of hay bales where they all fight each other. So yeah, we're doing that. That's good.
Yeah.
And 2,000 trees, a couple of bits and bobs in Europe, and just rocking in the free world.
What way to finish? That's the pull quote. Thanks, guys. Well, James Adrian Brown playing a live set next, and then it's Benefit. So yeah, excited for the rest of the evening.
I just want to say, fucking congratulations, boys. Well done.
It's a great record, if I say so myself. That's Sam, thanks very much. Yeah. Next up, James Adrian Brown.